I'd like to call the order of the Wayne County Council for January 2nd, 2025, to nominate and vote on your appointees on council.
Let's rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If nominations are open, I will nominate Max Smith as president of council.
Second.
We have a motion that he's supposed to be doing this, isn't he? Sorry. We have a motion in a second. You're supposed to do this. We actually don't have a president until you do this.
We had a vote, right?
We have a motion in a second. We need to have
Now we need a vote.
Yeah,
I don't do this very often.
that's okay.
I move we close the nominations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead, Beth.
So we have a motion to elect Max Smith as president, and we have a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are none. I'll trade you seats
Okay. For a minute.
for a minute. I'm going here.
You didn't have anybody opposed, but did it pass?
No, we didn't.
Thank you all for your confidence in moving forward here with me. And I definitely want to thank Beth for her amazing time leading us over the last 3 years. We've had a lot of tough things to consider and act on, and she has faithfully done her job of leading the county in good shape. So
Thank you.
Beth, we thank you for that. Next item of business will be the election of a vice president for council. Do we have a nomination for vice president?
I nominate Barry Ritter.
Are there any other nominations? We have a motion to close the nominations. Any discussion? All in favor of closing the nominations, say aye.
Need a second.
Yeah, and I'll second the motion to make Barry the vice president.
All those in favor of that motion? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Barry, you can, if you want, move over, stay there.
It's like musical chairs.
I know. I'm staying
It
there.
only happens once a year usually. Okay, on the agenda for today for the council, first item would be approval of the minutes from our last meeting in December, from our December meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass that around for signatures. Several items were listed on the agenda that was published, but the appropriation items, we're going to have that taking place in the Finance Committee, which will be meeting following this. For this year, Beth will be the Finance Chairman of this committee. Barry will be Chairman of the Personnel Committee. So, the first item of business is we have a agreement with Cambridge City for the edit. Jeff, you have that?
So, as you know, we have been going to council meetings for all of the town councils in Wayne County, talking to them about their potential participation in the Consolidated Edit Program. Cambridge City has agreed to continue their participation and contribute 50% of their edit funds to the Consolidated Edit Program. And we have a agreement with them that requires both the commissioners and the council presidents to sign.
I assume that agreement's standard
correct, except the amount.
You have readily available the amount here.
I don't for Cambridge City. It is a 4-year agreement. All of them we've entered into are 4-year agreements, although we've been requested to consider a 2-year agreement. We have not yet discussed that as the Board of Commissioners. And so, Max, this does actually list Beth Leisure as the president, so as I have done several times in crossing out Kenny Paust's name, and you'll have that opportunity today.
Yes, Ron.
Just reiterate, you've heard us spiel before, but council is a party to the unit, this is the unit contribution agreement, I take it it's meant to,
Yes.
as opposed to capital improvement plan, which they
Correct.
internally approve themselves. You're only signatory to this to endorse the concept of pool funding. You're not in any way limiting your discretion to, if you were so choose to repeal the actual edit tax itself. You still have that, you're the body that can do that as long as there are no outstanding bonds that have been pledged for repayment from that tax. And there are none.
Yes, thank you.
I move that we authorize Max as president to sign the agreement with Cambridge City.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize me as president to sign this agreement. Is there any discussion or questions of Jeff? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. It's passed. Okay, Jeff, I'll get that taken care of here shortly.
Can I-
I'll get that signed.
You get signed, okay. Keep those to Bobby.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So while you're up here, Jeff, you called to my attention that we need a person from the council to serve on the Regional Planning Commission. Would you state just a little bit about the responsibilities of that?
So
I put together the assignment list for us for '24, and that was not on there. It wasn't on last year for whatever reason, but
And actually, the last person that officially served in that capacity was Bob Chamness. And when he passed, we did not get that position refilled. But the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission is the current organization that is recognized by this 6-county region in Eastern Indiana to manage our economic development district for the Economic Development Authority. The 6 counties include Henry, Randolph, Wayne, Union, Fayette, and Rush. This current iteration goes back to 2016. Some of you will remember that the former organization was dissolved in 2015, and we've been working forward since then. We do have now an official plan recognized by the EDA, federal EDA. You'll also recall that under that process, we helped pay for a grant writer for Cambridge City. Cambridge City has been awarded $2.8 million of federal funds towards their water tower project in the Gateway Industrial Park, which was actually the first EDA grant that was received by this region 25, maybe 30 years ago now, to construct the Gateway Industrial Park. So it's important for a lot of reasons, and a lot of people mention EDA funding as a possibility, as one of the most important reasons to participate. My sense is that the real reason is to build relationships with the other 5 counties in particular, but also with the other 15 regions across the state. We have common challenges. These regions are primarily composed of rural counties like our region, and anything we can do to work together to help solve some of the problems that we all face jointly on the horizon is a water challenge for the state. And how does that impact each region individually? You've heard about the challenges that they have in Boone County with the massive industrial park up there that Eli Lilly is going to be the first tenant of, but how do they get enough water into that park and to the surrounding area? We don't even know. We've not really had to address a water issue in eastern Indiana, but that may be in the future. And so the state is working through those issues, and we'll work regionally with organizations. And so I think we're still in the beginning phases, although many of these organizations have existed across the state for 30 or 40 years. Ours is still in its infancy. It does go back 25 years, but this is a new iteration of that. I think we need to be involved in a strong way for a lot of reasons, but we are the population center of this 6-county region. We're the financial center in many ways. We're the industrial center in many ways. And so I think it behooves us to be very involved in this. I continue to represent the commissioners and would ask that one of you, it must be a currently sitting council member, and that leaves the 6 of you and 7 of you when you fill the vacancy. But the immediate challenge is quarterly meetings in January, April, July, and October. On the 3rd Thursday of the month at lunchtime, and the meeting moves throughout the region. So in January, the meeting will be on the 16th in Rushville. There are representatives from each of the 6 counties from the county council, so it's an opportunity to interact with some of your fellow council members, as I do with the commissioners. So it's not a tremendous burden. However, I expect the workload to pick up and accelerate. We did just hire in the last 30 days a new executive director. Her name is Clara Judd, and we'll be working with a new executive director, a young, energetic person that hopefully will pick up the ball and run with it. So we're looking for somebody who is interested in participating and has that availability to attend the board meetings. Also, I expect there will be committee meetings in the not too distant future.
Okay, with that in mind, is there anyone from council at this point wishing to volunteer to be that? If not, I'll have a discussion with some of you after the meeting to get that filled.
I would rather leave it vacant until we have somebody who understands the position and is willing to participate in a significant way.
Thanks for explaining that, Jeff. And when that park was established many, many years ago, we used some of those EDA funds in that process at that time.
We got $1 million of EDA funding, which
That's
at the
back
time
when $1
was a
million
significant,
was a lot of money.
significant amount. I think the cost of the entire park as it was put together was $7 or $8 million. So it was a significant chunk and very helpful to that process. Thank you.
We'll work on getting that filled hopefully by the 16th.
Great.
Okay. Corey, do you have something for us I don't see on the agenda? Is it finance
Probably
or?
for finance. The budget for 2503, is that what you've
It's
got?
on the agenda under E.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna
we're gonna move that to
take that to finance committee and that'll be just immediately following. Well, Jeff, do you want Steve to go first on your reports?
Yes.
Mr. Hickenbottom.
Good morning.
Morning.
You have your updated sheet before you as of January 2nd, and looking down through those projects, recall that I told you during the workshop in December that in the next couple of weeks, we'll be having our coordination meeting for the annex generator court installation. We'll need to coordinate that with the new mobile command center because that needs to be in place before 911 can move into that and dispatch from the mobile command center while the power is out during connection of the new generator. The X-ray and screening equipment, recall that this was approved last month. We expect delivery within the next 40 to 60 days. That too needs some coordination with delivery because it's a pretty large object that needs to go into the front door of the courthouse so we can have the front plaza tore up until we get that moved in. The Coleman Center ceiling and lighting project, they didn't quite get finished. I talked to Brad Terhar this morning. He thinks that they'll be finished in the next 7 or 10 days on that. The front plaza of the courthouse, that contract was signed, and we'll be having meetings with them to coordinate again the demolition of the front of the front apron going into the courthouse and installation of ADA compliant ramps on the south side of the courthouse. The IT cabling project continues. Haven't had too many issues. Occasionally they run into an issue where the pathway that they were expecting to be there is not there. So they've had to reroute it, but so far that seems to be on schedule. And remember, that was a 70-day project that started the first week in December. The contract was signed for the Prox card system. No updates on that. And recall that the courthouse elevator bid was rejected, so we'll be revisiting that in the next couple of weeks. And we'll have discussion with council throughout that. Right now, your one-time council budget is noted in the lower right-hand corner there. You have no council dollars committed to any of my projects at this point. Any of these remaining projects that you see on this list are coming out of ARPA. So that is the report for this day. Any questions?
Questions, Jeff?
Okay,
Steve, thank you.
thanks.
Jeff?
I don't really have much else, Max, until we get into into the budgeting of the additional appropriations for the Finance Committee. But we do continue to work to wrap up the ARPA projects. We believe that we got everything committed. We got signed contracts or a invoice for everything that's left on here. It was a lot of work in the final month, and thank you for bearing with us, but we got it all together, and I don't expect any problems going forward. You know that Beth Fields has moved on from the community coordinator position and is now our county treasurer, so best wishes to Beth. But she has agreed to work with Bobby very closely to make sure that Bobby has everything she needs to complete the last 2 years of reporting. The first report, the next report due will be January 31st. So everything that happened through the fourth issue of 2024. So again, I think we're in very good shape. I continue to get emails from the National Association of Counties and U.S. Treasury saying, you know, make sure that you have all of your projects in line and documented by the end of 2024. So again, we have done that with your help, and thank you very much. There is, by my count, almost exactly $2,100,000. I think it's $2,082,000 that are joint projects or joint agreement money that's in the general fund. If you recall, we had many discussions about, let's make sure we get this ARPA money spent, and so let's pay for this project, but when it goes into the general fund, we'll keep track of that and we'll use that as a joint agreement, as should every project be, a joint agreement between the commissioners and council. The one thing of that $2.1 million, I am still firmly committed, unless we learn otherwise from further investigation, to the elevator project. I think it's long past due. We need to figure out exactly what we need to do to get the flue out of that shaft that we want to use for the new elevator, and then rebid that project. So we'll keep you posted, obviously, on where we're at with that. And to me, that's the one issue that we need to utilize those dollars for. One other, if you'll recall, you were kind enough to allow us to reorganize our departments a little bit. So we promoted a person to department head, and we have a vacant position now that we're going to put the finishing touches on and put that out for to see who might be out there interested in coming to work for the county. We committed $250,000 of that money to pay for the first 2 years of those salary increases. So we certainly will continue with that agreement and understand that that'll be part of the mix. So with that, unless you have any questions, I'll see you at the Finance Committee meeting.
Any questions at this point for Jeff?
Thank you.
You, Aaron, as a new commissioner, we welcome you to be in our meetings and
Thank you.
look forward to working with you over the next year
Thank you, sir.
and longer. Does anyone out in the room have any other business we need to take care of today?
Actually, I'd like to make an announcement too. Tony Gelton resigned effective December 27th. Will be a caucus held Tuesday, January 14th, to select a new council member. So then hopefully we'll have one on board for our workshop on the 15th.
So if anyone watching on TV is interested in that, they need to contact Gary to get on the list for consideration. Any other comments, any announcements on anything that we're representing? I have a motion to adjourn this part of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn our council meeting. All in favor, aye.
Aye.